Hey everyone, what is going on? It is your boy Crypto Bobby. I hope you are having a great day, great night wherever you are watching or listening in from. And had a little bit of an issue with YouTube previously, but back on the stream here. Apologies to those who are potentially watching another video. YouTube changed this YouTube Now, YouTube stream events, and a kind of whole mess. But outside of that, looking forward to being back. Shout out to everybody who's watching on Periscope and on Twitch as well. And wanted to pop in for an episode of Crypto Happy Hour here on Friday evening, 5 p.m. Eastern time for me personally. For the slackers in the West Coast that aren't doing too much working, it's whatever, 2 p.m. And shout out to everybody internationally as well. And today, for whatever reason, I'm being healthy and it's Friday and I'm drinking water like an idiot. So that's where I'm at. But I do have I went to Whole Foods and got myself a fat New York strip. So because Bitcoin is now back above $4,000, I have to celebrate somehow, and that's going to happen with a 1 pound New York strip steak that maybe I'll throw a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of paprika if I'm going crazy, and we'll go from there and we'll see how things end up with that. But if you guys are drinking anything good, since I'm being halfway healthy, let me know what you're drinking, and I can live vicariously through you as always. And this is the first crypto happy hour, at least for me, with the new microphone. So hopefully this time, halfway through the episode, we don't go scuba diving again. That is the ultimate goal with this episode. And to the people that I had somebody literally after I posted before, but somebody's like, You curse way too much, but guess what? Go yourself. That's fine. It doesn't matter. So I can do that now. Again, it's like the only button I know how to use. A couple other ones as well. Drop the volume down. Can pull it back up. It's pretty sweet. It's awesome. But outside of that, so wanted to take some time today to talk about what's happening in the crypto markets in general, what is going on, because altcoins are popping all over the board. Tezos is crushing it today. Cardano is on a just steady rise up. Bitcoin is kind of slowly but steadily making moves up, and I think providing altcoins a lot of room to breathe and a lot of room to make things happen. And that has been interesting to watch. But the biggest news, absolutely the biggest news of the day, captivating Twitter, captivating an international audience, is will the Tron Tesla giveaway, will that be peacefully resolved by a family man, XRP Uzgar TRX, real big blockchain fan? He was unjustly provided, or he was maybe justly provided with a Tesla in the famous Justin Sun giveaway. For the best way to buy followers is obviously to give away $20 million in a Tesla. So the best way to do so, is to give away that money, but not actually give that money away. And our man's poor Uzgar had a rough 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever it was. But he was announced the winner of Tesla, and then it was like, oh whoops, there was an issue with the algorithm, and then everybody on crypto Twitter complained minus like one or two people. But this is the first time I think in my life I've ever felt bad for somebody with XRP and TRX in their Twitter username. It's the first time I've ever looked at that and been like, damn, this poor guy. But good prevails. Justin Sun's got to pay for a Tesla out of his pocket. I hope this guy gets the sweet one, the sweet SUV. What's that? The X with the freaking with the wheels or the doors that go up. So hopefully this guy is rolling in it, because he was posting sob stories with his children about his Tesla, and it captivated the world. It captivated the world. As Rocco, as Abstropoulos says, boycott Justin Sun. We will not stand for injustices on crypto Twitter. I cannot let that happen. You cannot let that happen. Get this man his Tesla, and let's also make sure that this promise follows through. I won't be satisfied until Uzgaroth is riding down. Looks like he's from DC, so I will not be satisfied until Uzgaroth is riding next to the White House, riding in Capitol Hill with a sweet Tesla X, with the damn doors that go up and hanging, and then just throwing TRX out the side of the window. That's got to happen. I won't be satisfied until it happens. So we got some good we got some folks drinking water is for bathing, grab a beer. Trying to lose my beer gut. I haven't had a buffalo chicken wrap in 2 weeks. So if I'm cranky by any stretch, it's probably because of that. Yeah, it's been happening. So I no buffalo chicken wraps in 2 weeks. I feel like I'm going through withdrawals. I get the shakes every night. It's pretty crazy. It's weird. So just hopping into things and talking in general about what's happening in the crypto world right now. I think it's pretty interesting to see. Really, the entire crypto Twitter universe is bullish at this point, or seems bullish. Everybody flipped the switch as soon as we had, everybody was bearish under 30, I think it was 3,900 or so, which happened, I think it was Thursday or Friday of last week. Everybody was bearish right here, bounces back up, and then every YouTube video on the planet is now, oh my God, I'm so bullish, which is fantastic. I mean, I think we're obviously moving in the right direction, and we're starting to see some pretty significant runs, especially in altcoins. I think looking at what's happened with Bitcoin, Ethereum is also slowly moving up, but the big movements have been, no doubt about it, in altcoins. I mean, for one, if we take a look at one of the biggest ones has been BNB, obviously. BNB just continues to absolutely crush it. We'll look at BNB in comparison. This is on the daily chart. It has absolutely crushed it in 2019. It's up a ridiculous amount. BNB's up 170%. My Tezos have been finally bouncing back and making a nice move. Cardano has been crushing it. A lot of people, really since the 1100 sat range, where we're calling out Cardano, and a lot of folks have been riding that wave, which has been good to see, and riding that wave with leverage on BitMEX. So taking a look at some of these comments here as well. What do we got here? Bobby, am I in Miami? No, I am in New York. John Penn, obvious bull trap before sub 3K. So I think there's a couple things to think about that. For one, we do have to break through, I think, 4,200. It's been a number that, pull that up. There's been really numerous times since December, that we've kind of pushed up against 4,200, and we have not broken through it once. That happened very shortly. The first time we really capitulated in early November from the $6,000 mark, tried to break above 4,200, very briefly did for a day or two. Then again in mid-December, I think it was around Christmas time, pushed 4,200, didn't hold above that. Again, early January, and then again in late February, kind of pushed that 4,200 range. So I think for anything, just in general, I really need to see, I would like to see us hit above 4,200 before I start, kind of getting cocky about anything. For now, if Bitcoin kind of continues to slow and steady range, I think you're starting to see what's fairly interesting is you're starting to see altcoins actually react to positive news. So, for example, we have Tezos, and Tezos was one of the positive news. A lot of that was around Coinbase adding staking, at least for their Coinbase custody clients. Your boy's been baking those Tezzies for a while. I'm still way underwater on those. I think I'm about 50% down. I mostly bought Tezos at about $2, but I've been baking the whole time, so we'll see what happens with that. So I'm still down, but hey, the past run here has made it go from basically a 4 to 5x to break even to about a 2x, which is, thank God. But in addition to that, you have OMG as well, which has popped today about 10% OMG popped. And this is pretty interesting because if we pop over, Omise, which is the company behind Omise Go, was actually acquired for, I believe, over $100 million. And when you see that, kind of, when you see a company get acquired really behind the scenes for $100 million and then the market react with a positive move, I think you're starting to see a little bit of, I don't want to say normality in the space, because there's still not a lot of fundamentals behind these tokens. There's not, an acquisition of $100 million for the parent company doesn't necessarily translate to anything from a token economics perspective. But there was quite a while where you had a lot of these altcoins that would go through something positive and it wouldn't impact the price. They might even dump more. But Now you're starting to see these occurrences where something positive happens that is maybe arguably affects the economics behind the token, but is nonetheless a positive news. The token is reacting positively to that. So you can see that with OMG today. You can see that with XTZ. Same thing happened slightly, I think, with Cardano, with the Ledger integration and some other things that's happened with Cardano. But really across the board, you're starting to see some positive things happening with altcoins. And then subsequently the chart moving in that direction as well. So a couple good questions. What's up, Nasty J? Do you attribute the epic Ravencoin pump in run in correlation with the Game of Thrones premiere? JK, by the way. I mean, that's probably as good a fundamental reason as anything, to be honest with you. I mean, the Ravencoin pump has been one of the most impressive pumps that I think we've seen really in recent memory for a somewhat large cap cryptocurrency. I think there's a couple other ones that are pretty clearly, I don't know, like BitMax pumping like 1800% or some shit like that. But that's some sketchy ass transaction mining crypto. That's Supo Man's pumping. Shout out Supo. But you know, Raven pumping 481% in 32 days after it already had a really strong run in early October when it got added to Binance. It pumped what was it like at that time, like 200%. Really bled out, and has made a ridiculous comeback. I personally wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole where it is right now, but you know, if you want to buy it, go for it. Great. And I think, I mean, outside of Raven's an outlier, obviously pumping 400+% in 30 days or so, but a lot of these altcoin charts for the time being look somewhat bottomed out and look like they might be decent plays outside of, I think, Binance, another one that the 200-day moving average crossed over the 50-day a while ago and is up, I mean, 160% in that time frame. But you have things like Cardano getting really close to that 200, flipping over the 50-day. You have a number of Bitcoin is getting closer, but I don't think it's there yet. But like Cardano's squeezing it. A lot of these altcoins are kind of looking in that range. OMG. So I think that's somewhat exciting to see. BNB is definitely one of the earlier ones and has kind of preceded the movement. But I do think we might be in for a little bit of an altcoin run and that's a big if Bitcoin can stay above the $3,800 range. If we're in this like $3,800 to $4,200 range, that's something that I think could be interesting in general. Now, for me at least, like when I'm looking at this, I don't see anything right now that's really like bringing in new adoption and not even just adoption of like dApps or anything, but like new money per se, or a lot of new money. When I look at this, to me, it kind of feels like the survivors of 2017, early 2018, the people that are still around are basically just trading back and forth with each other. I don't see this type of, at least just like the general feeling I get is not this type of pump is like a wave of new money coming back into altcoins. Perhaps that's maybe starting, perhaps maybe that'll start to happen, but I think the pumps in general need to be, bigger and bigger for that to happen, for the general cycle for that type of thing. And what you'll usually see is, some Joe Schmo, could be me, could be you, whatever, makes a bunch of money on an altcoin, tells their friend and starts bragging to their friends about, hey, I just made 500% on Raven, and I just bought a new car. I just did this. I just did that. And then they tell their friends and they tell their friends basically. And that's like word of mouth. And that translates obviously through the media and through a lot of other things as well. And that leads to kind of greed, which led to 2017. I think that like at a very high level, you also had that on a institutionally basis with a lot of the venture funds and kind of money being recycled and gains being recycled until it all came crashing down. But that's kind of what happens when that ends up fueling some of these pumps of altcoins. And then I think Bitcoin has a little bit more, or obviously a lot more fundamentals there, but also the same with Bitcoin as well. So a lot of people asking about Kin. I don't have too many thoughts on Kin. Some thoughts about it. I think this is Bitmain is pumping Raven. That's interesting. Short that bitch. So there's, I mean, and it's not too much different than anything else on crypto Twitter in the comments ever. It's, you know, the price of Bitcoin subtly goes up. Number one, people get cocky, and then on the other end of the spectrum, you have the folks that are like, you know, this is a bull trap, and I'm gonna short this shit to the ground. Now, I would personally be careful about, you know, if you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh, I'm the smartest person in the world, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna wait till this goes up to 4,200 or, you know, 4,150, and I'm gonna short this bitch back down to the ground. That's worked so far, really 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Is the fifth time a charm? You gonna make money a fifth time again, or are you gonna get absolutely smoked when Bitcoin decides to actually break through 4,200 and stay above that mark? And I'm hoping it's the latter, for me personally, because I am long right now. I'm not short. I think for me at this point in time, there's limited upside to being short. That's just kind of where my head's at. I think the market from my perspective, I don't know. I just think there's limited upside to being short at this point. What is the Web3 in your opinion? Nemo, what's up? Thank you very much for that super chat. I really do appreciate that. That's awesome. Always good to see you here. So I was having a good conversation. I don't know if Rocco is still in the chat, but with Upstropolis, Web3 is, I think it's a somewhat of a difficult question because the definitions around all these technologies continually evolve. Like, I think if it was, where's TechCrunch recently? Let's see. The TechCrunch came out with, they are now calling Crypto 2.0. I think it's Crypto 2.0, Blockchain 4.0. You know, so there's Crypto 2.0 now, there's Blockchain 4.0, there's Web 3.0. What does that all mean? Does it all matter? Does it all make any level of a difference whatsoever? Web 3 to me is blockchain enabled technology, you know, delivered through the internet, to me at least. You know, so you have decentralized applications that might utilize some element of blockchain technology. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Or, you know, it might be entirely built on blockchain technology. It might not. For the most part, I think, you know, Web 3 is still very much in development and still quite a ways away from anything mainstream adoption. And that's always the big question, I think, for a lot of people is, you know, what's going to be the thing that garners mainstream adoption? And it has been and always has to have been, in my personal opinion, to have an application that is on par, that is decentralized, but that is on par with a centralized application, and at the very least has to be on par with that, has to be as good, if not better, to garner that level of just kind of usability and adoption. And there was a good tweet getting back to the conversation I had with him yesterday, but where's Rocco? There he is. So he had a funny tweet, and then some people are giving him pushback and mad about it. But where do we got here? So he said this. He said, hey, we made a decentralized GitHub. Wait, GitHub works pretty well. Hey, we made a decentralized Twitter. Twitter seems to be doing quite well. Hey, we made a decentralized... No, you stop it. You stop it right now. So that's, I mean, I think in some respects that's a little bit where we're at with Web 3.0 is people are still trying to figure out what the benefits here are. And I don't think we found the killer use case. I think people are, in many respects, building solutions for problems that they're anticipating, but they might not fully exist yet. And there definitely are some problems that exist out there. Like, you know, there's projects that are working on a number of different things. Like Blockstack is one. So we'll pull up. So Blockstack has a bunch of apps, and they're very big on decentralization, and specifically around like Facebook, like the issues with Facebook. So if you guys aren't familiar with Blockstack, you might not be totally familiar. They have a fantastic team. Really solid guys. They've had Ryan Shea, who is the co-founder of Blockstack on the platform. Patrick, who has been there for a while, is a friend of mine as well. But so they have a number of applications that are built on the platform. Let me see if I could pull up. So they have the live apps that are built on top of Blockstack. And these are things that allow you to kind of approach applications, or in a, I would say, more just in a more, let's say, I guess we got to say decentralized manner. I hate the buzzword, but in a more decentralized manner where, so here's one, like a decentralized censorship free Patreon. They have Bit Patreon. And this is something where there's a whole issue right now with Patreon where they're deplatforming content producers. It might be way far right or way far left or whoever it is. I don't want to get into the specifics of who's getting deplatformed, but this is one example of what I would consider to be Web3, which is a decentralized Patreon alternative, which allows people to have free speech. There's nobody that's going to deplatform them. So if they're saying something extremely controversial that Patreon does not like, they're not going to get kicked off. And then it allows them to pay with Bitcoin Lightning transaction fees and a number of other components with that. So it's competitive against Patreon. And now there might be a real use case for that as well. So I think this is a good example. And there's other ones out there. There's other examples out there with Blockstack that are pretty cool. And there's obviously other examples with Ethereum as well. I think for me personally, like EOS and Tron, they might have a lot of DApp users, but a lot of that's on the gambling side. So we'll look, I'll do a little bit more research too on this, and we'll see. I know the Blockstack team was talking to me about potentially highlighting some of these applications in a little bit more detail. So we'll see if we can do that. Nasty J, what's up, dude? Do you have a Lightning node? Maybe discuss a bit. So I do have a Lightning node through Casa, actually. I have a Casa Lightning node. And let me see. If you guys want to... So I was actually going through the process of fixing it. It was offline for a while. So my node was offline. It's actually resyncing right now. I was doing that beforehand. But if you want to search out for that... Let me get that for you. Let's see. 1ML Lightning. If you search for Bobby on... So if you search for me here, you can check me out. So I have a Lightning node. I have, I think, 5 channels open. I think $1,500 in capacity. So I'm resyncing the Lightning node at this point in time. But yeah, you can, if you want, hit me up. You can send me an email anytime at rob@cryptobobby.com, and we can open up a Lightning node now that I'm getting resynced with that. So would be happy to do that if you're interested in opening up a Lightning channel. And there's a couple other good folks out there that I am buddies with that are big into Lightning as well. And I just squeaked like a 12-year-old girl. But outside of that, would love to open that up with you guys. Thank you very much, Naaman. That's super generous. I really do appreciate the super chat. It's very, very kind of you, and Nasty J as well, man. Definitely, if there are specific questions on Lightning, I would love to hear from that. So would love to chat further about that as well. Charlie, what's up? Can you shout out my friend Nick? Yeah, what's up, Nick? David, Casa support sucks. Definitely not worth it. Seeing the node software is open source. I've had pretty good experiences with Casa support personally. I'm sure they're a little bit overwhelmed, but I mean, I think there's other alternatives too. For me, I got in on the first batch of the Casa node ordering, and I've gotten a chance to meet some of the folks at Casa, and I think they're good people, and I think they're trying to build technology that's ultimately going to work in the long run. Or they're just very mission driven, as far as like their mission is basically to empower everybody to have a node within their home and to run that node and to have financials, to basically be, I want to say financially free, but have that the power of having a Bitcoin node and a Lightning node in their own home that they can utilize, they can confirm transactions with, and continue to innovate on that in the future. I do think that Jeremy and the rest of the team, I think they're building cool stuff. You can also do your own, like, you can certainly build and run your own Lightning infrastructure without Casa. No, that's definitely not something that I'm going to say that is a must do. I think if you want, for me, like, we'll pull it up right now, like another person out there, Pierre Rochard, who I'm sure a lot of you guys follow on Twitter. He always puts out good information about Lightning, and he has a whole he has a whole, let's see if I could pull it up. Pure assured. So if this is, I think this is his Windows guide, but if you ever, I think he updates this regularly. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. So here's his lightning guide. I'm going to throw this in the comments there. So if you guys want to click on it, if not, search on Medium, and that should hopefully help you out. But he has a guide there as well. But for me, the Casa node is great if you want to snag something that is very easy to use, very easy to set up. You want to get started with Lightning, and you want to do so in a fairly easy way. So that's one of the things I think is helpful. Granted, if you go through the process of like being open source and acquiring the technology on your own, you could probably spend a few hours, maybe less if you're very technically savvy. You probably spend a few hours and do this stuff without having to fork over the money to Casa. But on the other end of the spectrum, if you are somebody who is just on the newbier end of technology and you want to get started with this stuff, that'll hopefully help you out. What's up, Shooter McGavin on Twitch, brother? Yeah, saying the naked Raspberry Pi is like $99 with the hardware, but and the Casa is built with the Raspberry Pi, but it also has a skin around it, and there's some other components to it. But yeah, I think you could save money. You're gonna go through more quote unquote trouble if you build it yourself. It's gonna be more intensive, but on the other end of the spectrum, you can probably save some money. So it's always good to be upfront about that. Like, it's not the cheapest thing to do, but it's probably one of the easier ways to run Bitcoin and Lightning infrastructure. Retro Fred says atomicwallet.io is another one. Let me check that out on the other screen, see what's up there. So that's one that I have not seen. I'm not sure if that has a Lightning wallet or what it might have within it. So I'd have to check that out further before kind of vouching for anything. Oh, it looks like there's atomic swaps built in, which is fairly cool. But I am not personally familiar with this, so I don't necessarily want to. I don't want to vouch for this and say it's fantastic, but always appreciate the suggestions there as far as new infrastructure goes. Yeah, Laker. Glad the mic sounds good. That's fantastic because I spent enough money on that and the mixer. The mixer is I bought myself a Go XLR mixer that has a bunch of. It's basically like a bunch of things in one. I don't know. I just watched a bunch of YouTube videos and somebody's like, "Hey, buy this," and I was like, "Sure, here you go." So that was my move. That was how I ended up pulling that one off. But I think it sounds good so far, and it lets me tell people off, and we're good. So I'm happy about it. Happy as a clam. Yeah, Richard, there are definitely some awesome guides to build your own infrastructure. So if you want to experiment too, I mean, I think that's one of the most fun parts about crypto is kind of getting into the weeds and diving into some of those guides. Like, you're a loser like me and it's Friday night and you don't want to do anything and you want to sit back and cook a nice New York strip steak with salt, pepper, and a little bit of paprika that somebody's arguing with me before about. Maybe I'll skip on the paprika, but who knows? But if you want to sit back, eat some steak, relax, maybe play a little bit of Red Dead Redemption 2 and potentially play around with some Lightning infrastructure, that's a pretty good Friday night to me. But then again, I'm a loser, so hey. And yeah, good point there, Steve, too. I mean, this is not the Lightning nodes themselves, the $300 nodes. If you think about it, like that's not the profit center for Casa. They have other services and solutions as well. So I mean, where Lightning actually where Casa actually makes their money is this Keymaster tool. So they do essentially custody and security services with multi-sig wallets for individuals as well as for more advanced users. So you can see here they have products that go from $300 all the way up to $5,000, and that's kind of the way that they're approaching things. I think the Casa node is one aspect that helps them out with that. And interestingly enough too, so if you buy a Casa node, I believe you get the gold level for free, maybe for a year. So that's one thing, because I got in the first one as well. But if you do the first yearly subscription, you get a Casa node and a Trezor hardware wallet, which is pretty cool. But that's the node itself is not where they make their money. That sucks, David. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Cardano will save all crypto. I mean, Cardano is certainly pumping. It is absolutely crushing it recently. There's no doubt about it. I rode a little wave up and closed out my position too early. I got in at around, I think it was 1220 sats, closed out in this 1500 sat range and missed out on more gains. So RIP and peace to me, per usual. So we'll pop over to, as I'm taking a look at some of these questions here as well, we'll pop over. One of the things I think that's relatively interesting here is the conversation around staking. That was a hot topic that came up today. And shout out Nasty J for that super chat. I really do appreciate that. Super chat's coming in hot today. I might even be able to go out and order a ribeye now instead of a New York strip, even though I already bought the New York strip. But hey, I'm rich again. That's awesome. Bull market's back, baby. But so Coinbase, this was the part of the conversation today where we also talked about Tezos earlier, XTZ. You can stake a number of different cryptocurrencies. So damn, homie. So I'll just pull that up. The ones you can actually stake, the staking type. Let's proof of stake. So we have, how many do we have? So we have a number of different cryptocurrencies that you can actually stake, and that is starting to become a big business. So there are a number of institutional investors, and when I say institutional, I'm mostly talking about like crypto native VC firms that have made a ton of money since 2016, 2017, and now are sitting back staking crypto, whether it's Decred or Tezos or whatever it might be. Making for Tezos 7% annually, or for Decred 11% annually. But one of the things to also consider, and I saw this, that was kind of one of the things that was thrown out, is you also have to take into consideration the current inflation. So when you look at that, you have something like Decred where you're getting 11% staking yield, but on the inflation you're getting diluted about 20%. So what's actually like the true return? You must be assuming at some point in time that you're going to outpace the current inflation with both the staking yield and the appreciation in the token price as well. Ezo shill incoming. Get me back to break even, man. Get me back to break even. What's up? Okay, Kinfer. So I'll pull up, because thank you for that super chat. Very kind of you. I am not a technical analyst by any stretch. I'll pull up Kin. Jesus, I mean, is that the only thing that Kin is on right now? Is HitBTC? Kin anywhere else? Oh, it's Kin to ETH, I guess. Oh, there we are. It's kind of an ugly looking Charles. So, all right. So I'm not much for technical analysis. I mean, I guess you could look at the fact that the 200-day moving average flipped over the 50, which is nice. I don't know too much. I haven't really paid too much attention to Kin. Still one of the higher traded ERC20 tokens. I know they did switch over. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Kin token swap is finally happening, or did happen. So I believe Kin switched out of, that's recently, right? So the migration began, two or so weeks ago, which possibly, maybe that was the reason for the pump. We'll go back and check that out. So, yep, March 12th, or March, looks like there was a little bit of I don't want to say insider trading, but somebody, maybe they announced it ahead of time or they knew ahead of time or whatever it might have been. But on March 11th, the day before, that was no. So moved up. Ton of buy volume the day that token swap was finally announced. It pumped 150%, still up about 65% from that announcement. So definitely notable. And I think that might have just been part of the reason there for when you look back at what happened with it, is taking into account the fact that yes, they're starting to move to their own, I guess, to their own chain. So that's something that certainly impacted the technicals of it. And like I said before, I mean, the charts are definitely one thing, but it seems like a lot of these cryptocurrencies with the way Bitcoin has been able to slowly build up steam over the past, I mean, it's been how many weeks in a row right now, basically? It has been, we're 6 weeks in a row right now with slow upward movements for Bitcoin. And in that time, you've seen just a lot of positive momentum for altcoins, both against US dollar and against Bitcoin. And if that can continue, I think you'll continue to see altcoins that have positive news items be positively impacted in price. Is CIS convention in April worth going to, Claudio? I think that, I'm assuming that's Crypto Invest Summit. I think that's in LA. Let me take, yep. Yeah, that's, I believe this is like an okay conference. I don't think this is like the best crypto conference out there. Let me just pull up the speakers. The thing about crypto conferences in general is, number one, just for insight, always don't just look at like the top 5 speakers, like go down. And if you don't recognize people after like the main headliners, then it's going to be a bad conference. There have been a lot of times where I've like gone to these conferences where it's just, you see somebody that's like you see like Tim Draper, or I don't know, just some like relatively big name, and you're like, oh, okay, like Tim Draper speaking, like it's probably a good conference. And then like you scroll down like the next thing, and there's just nobody you recognize. So that's funny. Literally the first person on here is Tim Draper. So there we are. So you got Tim Draper, you got Pomp, Andrew Keys, Charlie Lee. I mean, honestly, looking at this, I wouldn't say this is a premier conference by any stretch. I don't think that I don't think this is a premier conference. I think there's probably more interesting stuff happening in. I mean, if you're in LA, it's a good conference. But if you're like flying in from out of state, I wouldn't recommend doing it. And also like try and get discounted tickets or try and get free tickets. Who knows? But Consensus Week in New York is going to be pretty cool. I don't know if I'll be going to Consensus itself because I'm based in New York. I don't know if I'll be going to Consensus, but I'll probably be going to the things afterwards. And then Fluidity, AirSwap is hosting Fluidity Summit again the week before, so I'll be doing that. So that should be a good time as well. What's up, Keith? Thank you very much for that super chat, dude. Appreciate that, and thank you, Claudio, too. And oh man, I love you guys in the chat are the best. It's the best thing on planet Earth. It always is. Nemo, what's going on? Thank you again. I appreciate that. You're way too kind. How does the lightning torch work? How do you get it? It's like the ice bucket challenge. So we'll pull up an article. There's a pull up an article and throw it in for you. So I don't even know if this is going on because it was really it heated up. It was very popular in early February. I don't know if it was late January started or early February, but yeah, it was Hodlnaut who started it. And it was awesome too because shout out to Hodlnaut and to the people that kind of just bootstrapped this thing, because it was really cool to see, Jack, the CEO of Twitter, who's obviously a Bitcoin fan, and I don't want to say Bitcoin maximalist because he said that he doesn't like any other cryptocurrencies, but he's a fan of Bitcoin. He invests, he buys Bitcoin with the Cash App. The Cash App has done a bunch of really cool things as well, but really it was basically, you would pass the torch from one person to the next, and every time that would happen, you would have to add 10,000 satoshis to the payment. So first payment was 10,000 satoshis, the second one was 20,000, third one was 30,000, so on and so forth, and it became pretty big. Pretty cool snowball effect. Went all the way from Hodlnaut to Jack to Justin Sun, who turned it into a promotion for Tron somehow, even though it's a Bitcoin thing. But it was pretty interesting, pretty cool to watch, and I think that type of just organic action is really important to continue to see adoption in the long run. Can I keep it? Well, that was the whole thing with Lightning Trust or the Lightning Torch was, you could, I don't know where it is right now, so complete transparency, I have no idea where it is, but you could have passed it to somebody and that person just said, "Hey, I'm not doing it. I'm not passing along. I'm going to take," I think at one point it was like over $150, maybe $200, something like that. It got up there in price. So somebody could have said, "Hey, screw off. I'm going to take this." And there we go. So yes, you can keep it if you'd like. So while we're live too, I'll let you guys decide this one. Let's see where we're at. I have this in a browser tab, but if you guys haven't played it yet, if you haven't played Moonwrecked with Hero, HXRO, you can sign up through cryptobobby.com/wrecked, but I'll let you guys choose which one I'll bet next. I'll do a 500 token bet, because why not? Let's get things rolling. But let me know in the comments right now. I got 2 minutes, so Moon or Wrecked to go for. And then if you want to sign up, they have the beta that is right now. There's a wait list, but they're slowly opening it up. And you get 100 free tokens if you sign up you get 100 free tokens to bet and to play with if you sign up through the link. But let me know, Moon or Wrecked, if you'd like me to. I'm not even going to look, and we're just going to go from there. So I see one Moon, one Wrecked. I need more than that. We're 50-50 right now. You got to make it. We're 50-50 still. Give me something definitive, folks. 2 and 2. I'll understand the game. RC Phantom, hope it opens up quicker. We got Moon, 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 Moon. No dump on Happy Hour, new metric. Correct again. Moon, Moon, Moon. Okay, we're going Moon. After a $3 move and a $1 move. Ugh. Let's see what happens. 99.9% Moon. So literally the point of the game is to, and they're upgrading a bunch of stuff around it, but where was that question? And we'll talk about Coinbase New York. Where is that? Point of this game is literally you have these 5-minute candles and you bet whether once this ends, this is the current game. So right now it is in a 5-minute period, the price of Bitcoin is up by 89 cents. So anybody who bet Moon wins, and sometimes they'll pay out more, so you get 1.45x. Anybody who bets Wrecked loses their money. So after this 17 seconds, we're going to go on to the next game, which is the game I bet 500 tokens on to Moon. So at the end of that 5 minutes, we'll see if it goes green, if it goes red, and if it goes green, depending upon the payout structure, sometimes there's no bonus, sometimes there's a bonus. And from there, we'll see what happens. So the payout is actually loading right now. So over the next 5 minutes, right now it's Wrecked, which means that the price of Bitcoin is actually down by 25 cents. So if the 5-minute candle were to close right now, I would actually lose my 500 tokens. But if it goes up, if it goes green, I will have my 500 token bet, and I will actually make 1.83x. So that is exactly what it is, and we're at even right now. So so I am actually, I think right now, if we go over to the leaderboards, so there's the leaderboards themselves. This is the leaderboard and the loser board. Crypto Dale, my favorite Iowan, is in 4th place, my man's. But pull down here. I think, in 90th place, we have Crypto Bobby on the loser board. So hopefully this one can help pull me out, because I am down about 1,000 HXRO tokens right now. Close to 1,000, down close to 1,000 HXRO tokens. So maybe you guys can crowdsource me to actually not suck as much at this. We'll see what ends up happening. But so start shooting away questions too, because I'm definitely, let's see, I signed up for the waitlist so long ago I forgot about it. So we're moving by 7 cents. Come on. Hold the line, baby. Hold the line. What's up? Happy Friday, balls. Yeah, what's up, Richard? So that's a good point, and I'll pull that up. We got 3 minutes left. So Coinbase Earn, I believe, is what it's called. And so what this is, and the question is from Richard, have you seen that Coinbase has started informational videos on their new coin editions, and if you complete a short quiz, they pay you a small amount of cryptocurrency. So this is something that happened from Coinbase, where they acquired Earn.com, and they've kind of redone it. Earn.com was previously, I don't even think, is it completely gone? Let's see. So Earn.com, you can earn Bitcoin, and now there's Coinbase.earn, Coinbase. But basically what this allows you to do is you can earn crypto while learning about crypto. So they have these educational videos, and you basically take a mini course, and you can earn whatever it might be, 50 Stellar tokens, $3 in Zcash, $10 in Basic Attention token, $3 in ZRX. Somewhat interesting. I would like to see perhaps in Bitcoin. So it's Nema, thank you so much for the super chats. Enjoy your dinner. Always good to see you. So it's interesting to see this, because it's all kind of altcoins per se, and it's not Bitcoin, it's not even Ethereum, and it focuses on some of the other cryptocurrencies, but it's all things that they have like some element of a partnership with to potentially give away. And it's interesting, and it also kind of goes to show, like, when you talk about, so this is cool. This is cool for one reason, and I would say bad for one reason. So yeah, 21.co, Kevin, you're completely right. So it's cool for one reason, bad for one reason. It's cool because you can potentially just earn crypto. I know I have friends that have just done this. They're like, hey, I'm going to earn $50 in XLM, and I'm just going to sell it and buy Bitcoin, or sell it and buy Ethereum, whatever I want to do. So that's the other thing. On the other end of the spectrum, when you think about it, like, it's, a lot of these have done an ICO, a lot of these have done an ICO, or maybe they're just not like the hard money that something like Bitcoin is. Like, they're not giving away Bitcoin because there isn't a treasury of money that Bitcoin has that they're just going to give away. A company that did, Basic Attention token or 0x probably has a marketing budget that they set aside from their initial token sale, where they can provide that money away. On the other end of the spectrum, Bitcoin is, to the Austrian economics point of view, it's hard money. Coinbase isn't just going to give away that hard money. So it kind of goes to show, I think, an interesting dichotomy when you look at, when you look at Coinbase Earn. But if you want to go through the process of doing that to, make $50, or basically, I think maybe you can make like up to $75 going through those quizzes. And I think they're decent quizzes, but you can kind of go through and sell that to something else, or hold on to them, whatever you want to do. But we got 18 seconds. Moon, come on, 50 cents. Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the line. And we'll go wreck this time to, we'll go wrecked in the other end, because it's been Moon a bunch in a row. So, hey, why not? Heyo. He's back in the mix. He's back in the saddle again. There we are. So we went with Rect. We're breaking even right now, but we went back with Rect. And going back to kind of on the subject of Coinbase Earn was the topic of, actually I'm about to sneeze, so I have a mute button thankfully now. Should have stayed Moon, probably. Yeah, actually, Kevin, that's a good point. Blockchain.com/getcrypto also gives you $25 in Stellar Lumens for free, $25 in XLM for free. I think you have to, I'm sure you have to with Coinbase Earn, probably KYC through it as well. But I actually talked to one of the folks at Blockchain recently just about that and kind of some of their experiences there. So that was a cool conversation I had with somebody that works in growth there. MAGA hat, you are speaking too soon about a bull market. Shut up. I'm actually not speaking too soon about a bull market. I haven't declared this a bull market whatsoever. So get yourself a profile picture and get back to me, bro. Don't come at me like that. Don't tell me to shut up. So this is just for total clarity. For total clarity, Christopher, this is my bull market beard. I had previously had a bear market beard. I shaved that off. We started a new trend, and ever since, and for this is something that you absolutely want to note, and this is just bottom line the best TA that you can really find. So I'll pull this up here. As good of technical analysis as you will find. Where were we? Had to go back. Almost there. So on March 1st, I shaved my beard. You could look at that. You could look at that beautiful face right there. March 1st, I shaved my beard. Where were we on March 1st? Let's take a look. Let's take a looky-loo here. Tools, historical snapshots. We'll go to March 3rd instead. Actually, no, here. Pull up the damn chart. Stupid. March 1st. On March 1st, we had a $130 billion market cap. Right now, we are at a $143 billion market cap. So me shaving my beard specifically is a result of the fact that we've gone up about $13 billion in cryptocurrency market capitalization. And I called it, guys. I told you, I literally said on March 1st, bear market beard's off, bear market's over. Some of you guys listened. Some of you guys opened up, 20x longs. Great. Some of you didn't. That's on you. That's totally on you. Now, what do we got here? RIP in peace. That's why I'm on the loser board. Moon by $2.24. Shut up and make me a buffalo chicken wrap, Bobby. Shut up and make me a bicycle clown. If anybody can tell me what movie that's from, I will give you... Shut up and make me a bicycle clown. Comment the video that's from with your... Comment that and then comment me your Twitter and I'll hit you up and tip.me with a tip. Devin, hit me up on Twitter with if you have a tippin.me account on Twitter, hit me up and you're good. Ah, Vinny, that's a terrible guess. That's a classic Dolphins fan. Classic Dolphins fan, Vinny. Wedding Crashers. Come on. Ooh, Chasen got it as well. Chasen might have had it first, but I'll give it to Chasen and Kevin both get it. We got you both. So hit me up on Twitter and I'll hit you up with a little Satoshi's Few sats for you, for your troubles. Guys, if you've been watching for a while, would love for you to hit that thumbs up button if you're watching right now on YouTube. Helps to get this video out after the fact for those who are not watching. And if you don't hit the thumbs up button, go yourself. That's fine. But whatever. So I know we got the Finscotian. If you guys remember, I threw my hat against the wall that's right here. Threw my hat against the wall that I'm sitting right next to when that became apparent. It was unfortunate. Give mine to charity. Okay, Kevin, I appreciate that, brother. So outside of that, guys, I'm getting hungry. It's 6 o'clock. We're coming up on crypto 55-minute hour, but I'm starving and it's going to take me like 30 minutes to cook. So I'll go ahead and make myself a steak. I might even go ahead and throw that on Twitter as far as the beautiful medium rare steak that I'm about to cook, so you guys can enjoy that. But I appreciate everybody who is watching on Twitch. Shout out to Giovanni. Shout out to Shooter McGavin and everybody on Periscope. What's up, Jake? Counter trading me in HXRO. Yeah, RIP in peace. Thanks, buddy. Just if you want to do well in HXRO, just counter trade me. It's really easy. But hope everybody has a fantastic Friday night. Enjoy wherever you are. And if anything happens this weekend, I'll be around. So take it easy, everybody. Peace. Data Dash, what's up?